What is his thought process? Yeah. I mean, why are people trying to excuse his totally subjective decision to kill somebody? I mean, from my point of view, to intervene whatsoever when the person is just yelling and throwing something on the ground in front of them and not harming anyone.
They were hungry and thirsty.
Like, it's amazing. It's amazing that he would think that somehow that was a situation. And even beyond that, everything that even leads up to a chokehold, like he didn't even consider any other form of anything. He went for like the most dangerous, deadly thing from the beginning. And again, that's why I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. No, right. And everything now it's just like Kyle Rittenhouse. It's just like George Zimmerman. Yeah. It's the same thing. Everything is about creating the benefit of the doubt for this person in order to ultimately get them off. But why they get the benefit of the doubt? I mean, if this was a black person on the train who murdered somebody and it was on camera and they got them, you better believe they would not have let them go pending investigation. They would have thrown them in Rikers to rot and die. So, I mean, everything about this is abnormal in terms of what you would expect in a society that has dignity and respect for all people.
Yeah, and it's disturbing that someone in the comments wrote, I have the right to defend myself from whomever, regardless of gender.
But it's not self-defense.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Well, my point is that, like, I don't, like, you have the right to defend yourself. There was literally nothing to be defending yourself from in this case. Right. Like, you don't have the right to, there's no death penalty for someone shouting things. That shouting on a train does not carry with it a sentence to death. Even if someone had, let's say, like, the distance between restraining someone and putting someone in a chokehold is very, very large. That's not a defensive move at all. Right. And again, as Brad pointed out, this guy was very slight. This was total disproportionate force. And I think it's scary that people would identify with what Penny did. I don't understand.
They're like cosplaying as warriors or some shit. Like
people fight, because you don't have to murder somebody. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to murder people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also, like, why there's something. It's just such bullying. Like the guy was small. He was slight.
Yes.
This was not a threatening man. Like you did not need to come with that brutality. Right. And
well, if you think about it,
and imagine it, like Milton was saying, imagine if that person was someone related to you. Do you think, can you get behind thinking, oh, well, everyone has the right to defend themselves by killing someone who was unarmed and not physically strong and not doing anything that was risking physical harm?
I think it's a good point. And you know, to even give this a through line to this kind of vigilantism, I think we actually even have to go further back, right? Like, you think about the New York City fiscal crisis in 1975. That's when they eliminated the Wall Street transaction tax. So that's basically creating like a structural deficit for the city. Not that there's any lack of money, but obviously that's the primary generator of funds for New York City. If you have it, there's billions of transactions, huge amount of money, and it hits right directly at the people who have the most money, who, you know, create the economic sort of structure of the city, Wall Street, so on and so forth. And I say that to say, look at 75, because then look at what starts to come after that as the city starts to deteriorate because it does not have the proper investment. Dirty Harry, you know, all these movies about vigilantes in the subway. I mean, to some degree, even The Warriors. I love The Warriors. Great movie, great New York movie, but similar sort of piece to it that, you know, we've been told, or New Yorkers in the country writ large have basically been told from the mid 70s on that there's no rhyme or reason to why the city is decrepit, falling apart, and there's nowhere for people to live and no good jobs. Right. And there's no rhyme or reason why anyone would be affected by any sort of situation. There's just a bunch of violent criminals roaming around, doing whatever they want to do. And who knows why? They're just super criminals. And it's not because of anything that's going on in society. So the only solution that we have is subway vigilantes. Right. And we've had 40 years of this mass propaganda being pushed on people and no one really asking the question, again, how are we in this sort of situation right now where the subway has basically just become the repository for every social consequence that our society has? Because if you are on the street, they'll push you into the subways.